The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, recently released economic data for March, revealing that the unemployment rate among young people is as high as 19.6%. Graduation equals unemployment has become a hot topic again. Analysis suggests that this is due to multiple factors such as industry contraction, and the CCP is using expanding recruitment to delay solving the unemployment problem. Moreover, the unemployment data is not accurate, and the real unemployment rate in China has always been a mystery. On Tuesday, April 18, the National Bureau of Statistics of China released the economic data for the first quarter. In terms of the unemployment rate, the National Urban Surveyed Unemployment Rate has an average value of 5.5%, a decrease of 0.1% compared to the fourth quarter of the previous year. The National Urban Surveyed Unemployment Rate in March was 5.3%, a decrease of 0.3% from the previous month. In addition, the unemployment rate among young people is still high. In March, the unemployment rate for young people aged 16 to 24 was 19.6%, an increase of 1.5% from February, meaning that 1 in every 5 young people is unemployed, a new high since August 2022. Independent commentator Kai Shenkun said that firstly, the urban unemployment rate cannot reflect the true unemployment data. The CCP's Urban Surveyed Unemployment Rate Statistics method is very special. It only counts unemployed people who have urban household registration and are registered. Those who do not register are not counted as unemployed. Moreover, rural households belong to the rural labor force and are not within the scope of the statistics. This has led to the unemployment rate staying between 4% to 5% in the past, which cannot reflect the real unemployment data. Kai Shunkin said that behind the employment data are the survival difficulties of thousands of families. For families with better conditions, they can still let their children stay at home to study for graduate or civil service exams for another year or two. For those with poorer conditions, after graduating from college, they can only seek low-paying jobs with low skill requirements to barely make ends meet. Moreover, Kai Shunkin believes that the Chinese Communist Party's continuous expansion of undergraduate and graduate enrollment has obscured the youth unemployment rate. According to the official division of the highest age group for unemployment, it is young people aged 16 to 24, who are students at all levels of education, from high school to graduate school. China News Weekly reported recently that China began to expand its university enrollment in the late 1990s, with the number of new students increasing by more than 40% in 1 year. As of 2021, there are about 44 million undergraduate students in China, compared to only 4 million at the beginning of this century. This year, data from the Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security showed that the number of college graduates will reach 11.58 million, setting a new record. At the same time, the number of people applying for graduate school entrance exams in 2023 reached 4.74 million, compared to only 3.41 million 3 years ago. It is worth noting that while the number of college graduates is at a new high, the number of graduate students, master's and doctoral degrees, is expected to exceed that of undergraduates for the first time. This year, the number of graduate students, master's and doctoral degrees, graduating in Beijing surpassed that of undergraduates for the first time. According to data from the Beijing Municipal Education Commission, this year, Beijing's universities are expected to have about 296,000 graduates, including more than 160,000 graduate students, outnumbering undergraduate students by 30,000. Since 2020, the number of expected graduate students has been higher than that of undergraduates for 3 consecutive years, and the gap has widened from 4,213 people to 19,082 people. Kai Shunkin believes that in a sense, the expansion of universities is to delay employment and alleviate employment pressure, also making the true unemployment rate in China a mystery. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the labor force in China is 880 million people. Based on this number, he said that the current number of unemployed people is 46.64 million. The Chinese Communist Party also acknowledges a flexible employment population of up to 200 million. Regarding the analysis that the CCP's expansion of enrollment is to delay the solution to employment problems, Chu Wanjun, a professor of finance and economics at Northeastern University in Boston, USA, thinks that this is very likely. Because it uses the power of the country to keep students and young people in school, the unemployment rate can be reduced at least. Students are not included in the calculation of the labor force unemployment rate. If they stay in school, this base will be lower, he said. Regarding the continuing high unemployment rate among young people, Chu Wanjun analyzed that there are several factors. First, in any country, The unemployment rate for the young population from 16 to 24 years old is generally much higher than the national average unemployment rate. For example, in the United States, the current unemployment rate is about 3.5%, but the unemployment rate for 16 to 24-year-olds is 9.4%, and for the next age group of 25 to 29-year-olds it is 4.3%. For those aged 45 and above, the overall unemployment rate is only 2.6%, so this is not a phenomenon unique to China. However, Qiu Wanjun said that what is more worrying is that the high overall youth unemployment rate indicates that the main jobs for young people entering the job market are related to the internet, education, entertainment, and possibly the technology industry, which may have gradually disappeared and resulted in a relatively subdued demand for manpower. What does this indicate? China's several areas may be experiencing a relatively shrinking situation, and the employment population is stagnant, which has caused a high youth unemployment rate, he said. In recent years, there have been constant reports of PhD and master's degree graduates working as delivery drivers because they cannot find professional jobs. Qiu Wanjun said, if even college and graduate students have to become delivery drivers, this is indeed a strange phenomenon. The saying graduation means unemployment has been circulating wildly on mainland Chinese social media. Qiu Wanjun said, this may not be a common situation for the United States. In addition, young people are still the main force of consumption. Qiu Wanjun said that a high unemployment rate will directly impact consumption. Not only current consumption, but also future consumption will be affected. According to data released by the National Bureau of Statistics of the Communist Party of China, China's consumer confidence index was rarely lower than 120% before 2022, and rarely lower than 100% from 2000 to 2018. However, in March 2022, it plummeted to below 90%, and has only slightly improved this year, with the latest data standing at 94.7%. The mainland Chinese internet is crazy about the saying graduation equals unemployment. Qiu Wanjun said, this may not be so common for the United States. In addition, young people are still the main force of consumption. Qiu Wanjun said that the high unemployment rate will directly affect consumption, not only in the current period, but also in the future. According to data released by the National Bureau of Statistics of the Communist Party of China, China's consumer confidence index has rarely been below 120% before 2022, and rarely below 100% from 2000 to 2018. However, in March 2022, it plummeted to below 90%, and has only slightly improved since then, with the latest data standing at only 94.7%. This number shows the problem in the job market, Qiu Wanjun said, which will cause the general public to be hesitant about consumption, especially for those with relatively high unemployment rates or uncertain job markets, who may be more conservative in their consumption and savings, which will have a negative impact on the overall economy. Furthermore, the high unemployment rate, combined with the severe lockdowns imposed by the Communist Party in the past 3 years and its serious suppression of private enterprises, has caused economic stagnation. Qiu Wanjun said, investigations, arrests, or silencing of some important business giants will of course have an impact. For example, the whereabouts of Jack Ma are still unknown, and he returned to China with a much lower profile than a few years ago, which has undermined investor confidence. Moreover, he said, from a sociological perspective, of course, it will also have a negative impact on social stability. Political repression cannot truly solve economic problems.